the 11 August 2023, 0 hours 21 minutes, soon we'll have 22 minutes, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. We will invite you to please take a look on our risk report 2023 traceaugust.blogspot.com. I've made some food for you all by reciprocity, showing the same love you do against me. It's so much love that I can hold, and I will offer back as reciprocity. International police. And by equity, we can read all misguided things equally, and especially by codified values, because the binary reading do not has an owner. You are not the creator of the universe or something like this. We will have in mind that the misuse of institutional power to murder someone indeed is annihilation if goes at the state level or using the state architecture. And it doesn't matter which is the state, especially if he is inside by signing the home agreement, which creates the International Criminal Court that will do the observation and you check the evidence, confirm, and have the proof structured to apply the consequence against the state as users of those architectures. We reported violation and in general rights of person and others by institutional corruption and criminal use of power. Considered all states at home agreement, you all are mostly equally guilty. And specific purpose at United Nations, especially the development of mankind, not ruled by criminal purpose, because nobody can be forced to be a criminal by institutional violence or something like this, especially beyond the annihilation 24 hours a day, having your entire life stalked, your circles harassed, and things you do misguided for criminal purpose. There's no problem as lack of will, but the strong commitment as doing the right things. You had the will, but only for criminal purpose. You clap your fingers and you do everything since you check that you will be noticed as a criminal, a big mafia member. Summary. Criminal chairs at states or institutions will be misguiding the Interpol, the United Nations, the OECD, and others, because it's their own moral conviction all wrong as criminals that wouldn't and didn't suffer any constraint or consequence by the weakness of all states and institutions, considering the corporations. And then in a global arena, they will keep this kind of thing combining each other. This commitment is a solidarity, collinear as criminal purpose. Benchmark. Pandemic crime and trust. Case as paradigm. Brazil and peers, institutional crime. It's said to be punished, but has no order. And it's not a problem of courage, but also a problem as no independence to do the order. Weakness. Collinear. Solidarity. All charged. There's no lack of will for criminal purpose. You always had the strong will and the desire to commit crimes, scapegoat things, put things in a big mess or such crisis to avoid the consequences that are unavoidable on present time. So logically proven criminal intent by motivation of acts, very consciousness, and purpose as commitment, and a strong one of institutional and state solidarity all charged. criminal purpose against individual rights and guarantees in an area that even as foreigners you can do this. So by your stupidity you got charged, presented the case to the International Criminal Court that will apply the consequence as expected, as mission of this court is the reason of existence, or you all must disappear as a structure, or at least by heads inside. I'm offering the food as reciprocity because it's, as you told, you show so much love against me that I can't hold. I must reply back. So, criminal use of state power at home agreement inside a security forum for murders is annihilation. It's an issue of the International Criminal Court, the independent oversight mechanism, and the prosecution reported are read all in Blazing Act, even by silence. Economic theory and financial control set it charged for criminal individualization with regression by this paycheck against the solidarity between state and institutions until the chairs using the power for criminal purpose do the annihilation of an individual that can be forced to erase his history or his family values, or be forced to be pushed and became a criminal. I'm not like you. I'm fortunately for you because I will, hold the struggle in the way I did to put you all down in the way I'm doing. And you will go down. I bet you will. Economic theory and financial control. We said that charge for criminal individualization using the paycheck, housebound, economic and financial theory part 2. Part 1, the budget, part 2, the housebound, part 3, I think that is the fees and the race that puts you all in solidarity as risk you all represent, you all suffering the same trend as economic responsiveness against the risk. Part 4, I think that is the tax and the tax immunity. If I do the payment of my tax in a system globally ruled like this, I'm beefing up the criminal organization represented by you all, and I'm against you all. So, following the report, Brazil and peers, when a constitution has a guarantee, you can't cross this line, or you are doing cultural destruction against the Western culture set since 1789 as the constitution a theory, in Europe, France. When a constitution, you can cross this line, and by international purpose, as civilization, anyone can receive this complaint since not linked with the organized crime, especially at institution use the power observe the state and any other organization. Bug me and my things, machine, personal circles didn't help it at all. But why you insisted? Because you consider that the combination between the crimes as variety between yourselves, setting a new variance, you are collinear, right? You are kind of making larger the range as association and increasing the solidarity, making the charge much more easy. And nowadays has no excuse. You will pay, be sent, suffer all consequences, including prison and capital punishment, because many of you did treasonous acts. Why you insist? The lack of will isn't something new. But nowadays we are observing that has the will. But the will is a purpose and commitment for criminal activity. Collinear you all. No one has a doubt about this. So, and like the light has the lack of will is like the light has a spectral dimension at shades. One is very intimate. When you look yourselves at the mirror, you will be undeniable facing the cowardice. that hold your life down here. But you all together against a single person to violate the right of this person in an area that you can do this, you self-incriminated yourself for conviction at the International Criminal Court that is having the case because you all are linked or associated at the state level as misuse of state power included the defense for criminal purpose, even by silence. Right? Right. No talks are accepted. 38 trillion. Holographic business model. We told since the very beginning, this is not a business, this is a charge that will be used to individualization, a warranty. So you can have the judicial warrant or any kind of order against individuals, individualized and segmented, prepared to be under the constraints and suffer the consequence. Another thing we will have before we move is something like this. You consider that, for instance, you consider that you can hit an area that is doing violation of human rights. So you did the strike against this area with this argument, right? Right. Happened before a dozen times. But since you did this strike at the past with this argument, and nowadays you are linked with someone or some peers, including the Security Forum, for instance, doing the misuse of state and institutional power to murder someone or doing systematic violation and violence at the institutional and state level of basic rights and guarantees, you are all identical. The difference is that, for instance, this guy here is not inside the home agreement. You are. So your consequence is much more serious because you broke the promise you made at this international agreement. Now you must all face the consequence, and I bet that you shake on your boots and will face the cowardice at the mirror, and my love is for you at the same intensity you show it to me all this time. 38 trillion, the paycheck, the cases, harassment and economic espionage. We will have the prisons, the constraints, the financial penalties, more prisons. The judicial account don't make the trustee entity that is holding the money the owner of the money, because the money is sourced at my right. Are you me? No. So you don't have the right. You can have maybe an expectation, but as we told, since you got evidence by criminal purpose and the criminal use of state and institutional power, you have right to do nothing, because you couldn't do your institutional role, which is apply the law against the organized crime, for instance, or hold your whole defensive line. So, pop off. Have a great night.